Hello and welcome to another edition of Tours from the Attic. For today's episode, I thought we'd take a look at Stealth Armor Iron Man. So without further ado, let's take a closer look at this guy. When a specific mission is beyond the ability for Iron Man's armor to perform, Tony Stark designs another suit of armor specifically tailored to get the job done. Iron Man's stealth armor renders the Golden Avenger invisible to all manner of detection devices, including radar, allowing him to attack his enemies before they even know he's there. Alright, so here we have Marvel and Toy Biz's Stealth Armor Iron Man. I don't actually ever remember my cousin showing me this particular armor from the comic books. However, I do remember it popping up in the cartoon show every now and then. I don't exactly know why dark blue counts as stealth, I guess if he's hiding in the shadows, but considering he flew around in the sky a lot, it seems like it'd stick out a lot more. Maybe it deflected sonar or something. The base character himself, it's kind of drab without that extra yellow or any extra paint detail to help break up the overall look of him. It just seems kind of plain. There's just that solid blue. A lot of the details are lost. You can see some little hints of armor in there, and right here on his arms and forearms right here. I mean, it looks a little bit lighter on camera, but it's a lot darker actually in person. So yeah, just by itself, it's kind of drab. It has the standard bits of articulation. The head can move side to side, arms up and down, yada yada yada. It is kind of nice that they changed up the hand sculpt a little bit, so he has one hand that's kind of open and out rather than just the standard fist palm, like he's going to punch somebody. But when you bought these guys, you were actually buying them because of the armor attachments that actually went with these guys, which made them a lot cooler. So let's get that on here. Now, as I've said before, the armor was one of the best parts, but it's also kind of one of the downsides to these guys. It's made of that brittle plastic that it's kind of rigid, so you're afraid that if you take these out or you're not careful, the parts are just going to snap off, or the little pegs are going to snap off, and you won't be able to have the armor on them anymore. Or if you accidentally stepped on these guys, it's going to break into a million pieces. Another downside to this is that they're a lot of pieces, so that if you're not careful, you're going to lose these guys and you have an incomplete set. Especially with this particular guy, he has a little bit more armor attachments than normal. You can see that the front leg plate right here is only the front, and you actually have to have a back that snaps right on here. It fits rather tightly in there. Oh, got to get both pegs in there. It fits rather tightly in there, so it does hold up. It's just when you store it with a bunch of figures, or if you're like me when I was a little kid and just put them all in one big box, that's when it could actually snap, pop off, and you can lose all those little extra pieces. Granted, I've lost the other armband that goes right here. I'm sure I have it someplace. I'm just not sure where it is. It could actually be in with my G.I. Joes or some of my vehicles. I don't know. He also has this little gun that could either fit right in his hand or right on his wrist. You could actually also mount it on the wrist armor right here, rather than having to take that off and put it on the gun. So I do like that little feature that they actually thought about attaching it to the plastic armor that you are attaching to the arm. I prefer to keep it right on the wrist, just because I like wrist-mounted things a little bit better, especially for Iron Man. He also has these little wings that stick on the bubble part of this backpack. That's the one downside about the stealth armor, as well as his back piece kind of looks really weird, and just like he has a lot of back kibble, makes him kind of back heavy. But if you look at him from the front, he's still pretty impressive. And that blue, the darker blue armor with the blue of his base body, it helps break it up and add a little bit more of appeal, or visual appeal, I should say. Now, he does actually have a gimmick. You can probably see these strings coming out of the back of him right now. I'm going to try to move the camera up to get a better look at it. The idea is you just pull this string back here while holding on to the other one, and it looks like he's flying up. I will say I enjoy this gimmick a lot more than the one that was with the space armor, where it relied on a spring mechanism that you pull out and it's supposed to line up. This one, it's all just pulleys, so it's going to work a lot better than the other one. Overall, he's not that bad of a figure once you actually get all the armor pieces onto him, and he's pretty good to display along with the other rest of the armors. Actually, if you have all these guys lined up in a row, it's almost like you got your little hall of armor for Tony Stark just sitting up there on your shelf. Anyways, this has been a look at Stealth Armor Iron. Once again, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you've seen today, please feel free to like, subscribe, or leave a comment below in the comment section. Any advice for the show will be greatly appreciated. Who knows, something you suggest may appear on the show in the future.